Eddie Hearn has played an absolute blinder. He has fooled absolutely everybody. Conor Benn destroying Chris Eubank Jr. in the rematch. Eddie Hearn has got what he wanted. His master plan has worked and he's made everybody look stupid. It all started off with him, trying to hide Conor Benn's failed drug tests. It all started off with that, him trying to hide it all like it never happened. And then it all eventually came into a massive master plan, rehydration clauses, all that. It's shocking stuff. Eddie Hearn knew the rehydration clause had to be a thing because it would give him and Conor Benn the best advantage possible. And it worked in the rematch. It didn't work the first time, but I knew it would work in the rematch. So he didn't fool me with that. I knew it would work in the rematch. It might fit. Some things work once, but they can't work twice. And yeah, it didn't work for Eubank at all. But it certainly worked for Eddie Hearn this time round. Yeah, look, he knew it would physically and mentally weaken Chris Eubank Jr. That's exactly what it did. To be honest, he knew what he was doing. He knew there had to be a rehydration clause. Look at a lot of these guys who don't have rehydration clause, who haven't when they're moving up weight. Terence Crawford, for example, literally, honestly, one of the best to ever do it. People might say, oh, it's because it was a championship fight. So, it damages people badly, and it damaged Eubank Jr. badly there. It really did. He knew he'd be drained beyond belief, and that is exactly what he was in the first fight, and very badly in this rematch. Very, very, very badly. He was not in full self whatsoever, and it gave Conor Benn every possible advantage, and that is what he's been trying to do this whole time, ever since he started trying to hide those failed drug tests. He's made everyone look stupid and making everyone think that this is a fair fight. He knows it's not. He knows it is not a fair fight. After that first fight, they could have easily have just done it on normal terms. I don't know why Eubank Jr. didn't push for it. That's his own fault. But Eubank Jr. himself played into Eddie Hearn's own game. That is exactly what he did. He played into Eddie Hearn's own bloody game. And it's shocking. I can't actually believe it. The fans fell for it. Chris Eubank Jr. fell for it. And Eddie Hearn's manipulated everything once again. Wow. Just all the drug test drama. There's money involved in that, we know for a fact, trying to make Conor Benn's name be cleared. He's always been one of Eddie Hearn's up-and-coming biggest stars. Tonight proves he is his new biggest star, even though drug cheats shouldn't be allowed that platform. I've spoken too much about it now. It's actually boring. But they shouldn't be allowed the platform. And Eddie Hearn has manipulated his ways and his master plan, and he's found it. Look at what he's done here, and look at the star that he has now made Conor Benn. Manipulating his way, fooling everyone. And, no one is now mentioning these failed drug tests from Conor Benn. Everyone's just saying how great of a performance that it was. And people still don't, and it was a great performance, but people still don't know that Eddie Hearn has played an absolute blinder on them and made everyone look stupid here. Eddie Hearn throughout this whole time has been able to dictate everything. Honestly, the ring size, that especially for the first fight, Jesus Christ, to try and get that into Conor Benn's favor. The way, the rehydration clause, everything he's tried to get into his own favor and has manipulated it. Eubank the A-side both times, and Eddie Hearn has weaseled his way in both times to get his say and get exactly what he wants. That is exactly what happened both times, even though Eubank Jr. was the A-side, and he fooled Eubank Jr. himself. Eubank Jr. might have been the one making him look stupid and pathetic at press conferences, but Eddie Hearn secretly just knew. I'm playing a blinder here. He did the whole time. And no one has realized what has happened. No one realised it at all what Eddie Hearn has done. And Conor Benn is now the face of Matchroom Boxing. He is now the big star like Eddie Hearn wanted. He has suddenly been able to turn this whole thing around. Conor Benn from being a drug cheat to now being their biggest star. He's switched the narrative on its head and made fans look stupid in the process. Conor Benn had more fans than Chris Eubank Jr. tonight. What? I can't believe it. I can't believe it, to be honest. It's shameful on boxing fans' point of view. It is honestly a joke who's supporting Conor Benn after this whole scandal, and Eddie Hearn just making everyone look stupid, weakening Chris Eubank Jr. You know, we all know there was problems. I watched the post-fight press conference. Eubank knows there's problems. It was obvious. He was dehydrated. But no, that everyone's now not acting like that's a problem. They're just acting like this was a normal win where nothing was manipulated into anything, because it was. It was. Eddie Hearn has turned Conor Benn into a bloody hero now. Honestly, in so many people's eyes, it is absolutely unbelievable. You know, you've got to give respect to Eddie Hearn for how good of a businessman he is, because wow, the way he has flipped this narrative is absolutely, it's unbelievable. But he's played the fans, he's played Chris Eubank Jr., he's played everyone like they're absolutely stupid.